all devils are not made equal. They are not equal. The disciples in the book of Mark chapter 10, and I believe it's verse 17, when Jesus sent them and they came back, right? And they said, Master, you can't believe what we're about to tell you. Demons listen to us, obey us as we're commanding them in your name. And the Lord Jesus, do not be excited because demons obey you, but be excited because your names are written in the book of what? Of life. Now, they are now confident that demons obey them. They are now confident that demons listen to them. But something happens in Matthew 17.
Of Matthew chapter 17, verse 14.
Hence, not everyone can cast them out. Let's go.
Verse 14 says,
Yeah.
And when they were come to the multitude, there came to him a certain man, kneeling down to him and saying,
Kneeling down to him, Jesus, meaning the Bible is talking about Jesus.
Lord, have mercy on my son.
Have mercy on my son.
For he is lunatic and so vexed. For oft times he falleth into the fire.
He falleth into the fire, destruction.
And oft into the water.
So where is this spirit that has taken over this young man, throwing this young man? Sometimes fire. Sometimes the spirit will send him to water. We are dealing with water here. Watch this.
And I brought him to thy disciples.
I brought him not to other people, but to your disciple.
And they could not cure him.
They could not cure him.
Verse 17. Then Jesus answered and said, O faithless and perverse generation.
Verse 18.
Verse 18. And Jesus rebuked the devil.
Jesus rebuked the devil. So what was causing this young man to throw himself into the water was a devil. And Jesus rebuked, pay attention now. Jesus rebuked the devil. This is powerful.
And he departed out of him. And the child was cured from that very hour.
The child was cured from that very hour. And the disciples came to Jesus apart and said, why could not we cast him out? Meaning this moment, this event, this thing that took place shocked them. They did not understand how come we could not. That should then tell you that the devil did not go out, not because the disciples did not have power. It was not the absence of power in the disciples that caused the demon not to leave. That's why they came back to ask, because according to Matthew 10 verse 1, Jesus gave his disciple power to cast out all unclean spirits. And in Luke chapter 10 verse 17, they are telling Jesus, demons obey us. But in Matthew 17, they can cast out a demon that is taking a boy into the water. And now they are wondering, how come we could not cast this demon out? It was not the absence of power, brothers and sisters. Power they had. But listen to what Jesus says in verse 21.
Verse 21. Howbeit this kind goeth not out, but by prayer and fasting.
Now, so we understand now that they met a demon that refused to hear them. That's what the Bible is saying, the devil there. You see there? Yeah, Jesus in verse 18 casted it out. But the devil, the demon they were dealing with, refused to listen to them. Resisted the disciples of Jesus. Fought the disciples of Jesus. That they became powerless because they gave up. The father goes and he begs Jesus, Master, I brought him to your disciples. But Jesus then cast out the devil. And they come to him, they say, watch this now. Why couldn't we cast it out? Jesus said, this kind. This kind. It is very important that as a child of God, when you're called to deliver people, you know what kind of a demon you are dealing with. It means in their minds, they thought all demons are equal. So the question is, what kind of a demon were they dealing with? The answer is there. This demon was throwing the boy into the water. The reality here is that you have to understand it was not the power of God that was not available in them. It was just that the kind they were dealing with was of a higher spiritual rank or higher spiritual ranking. And what makes it higher in rank or high in rank is because of its inhabitant place. And that is water. And water is not just water, it's an element of creation that stands as a witness. That in the beginning, the Spirit of God was hovering around water. Meaning whoever controls water controls life. Whoever controls water controls destinies. So they were dealing with another kind. And this kind was more powerful, so to say, than them in ranking. Even though it was a fallen spirit, it was still powerful than them in ranking. Why? They could not cast it out. You see, deliverance, it is not just screaming and just hitting people or about praying. It's also about understanding. I, as a man of God, should know and understand what kind of a spirit am I dealing with. Are you guys hearing me? As much as we have spiritual wickedness, rulers of darkness, powers, principalities, there are different kinds of spirits.